These trains, I think they own the fucking train tracks. Look at them there, taking up the whole fucking roadway. What's his fucking deal? Good morning, and it's a grand morning because I get to go out on the motorbicycle. I've been remiss in my motorcycling for the last week or two for various reasons. Primary among those reasons is just having to go to work in different ways. You know, some days I have to bring stuff home or to work and I have to bring the car, which is unusual. And the car has been kind of gathering dust for the last couple of weeks, sitting in the parking space and work, so I have to figure out what long term happens there, because I'm in a place where even when we get into the new place, I'm going to want to use the car maybe only on weekends, and maybe at that not even every weekend, which is kind of weird, coming from using the car for at least 2 hours every day down to, you know, oh yeah, I have a car. I forgot. So it's been that. It's got a couple of days where it's sufficiently shitty out that I've been taking a train or public transport, and there's been a couple of days where I've been indulging in my secret shame. Yeah, my secret shame. I sort of live a cyclable distance from work now, so I kind of get to go in there and I get to see. I have sort of cycled in town or sort of the Dublin area before. I used to, back in the Halcyon days of 3 or 4 years ago, when I was considerably fitter than I am now, I used to cycle from Clane into work in Dublin, which was about 35-ish kilometres. I didn't do it every day, it was more of a twice a week kind of thing, keep it up. And so then when a few years ago I moved further out, I was like, no, can't fucking do that anymore. But the parts where I did have the cycle in Dublin haven't changed much. There's a lot more bikes on the road, and nothing has really changed. I still sit stopped at a red light like a fucking spare prick, with bikes fucking streaming past me, breaking the red light. And I, you know, people who know the channel know that I don't get aggravated about that sort of shit, but you know, it is still a bit mad seeing people just not giving a fucking not caring about the rules of the road, or you know, red lights and all that sort of stuff. And one thing I kind of continue to notice as a long time motorist and cyclist and motorcyclist, not quite so long a motorcyclist, is the two sides of it. Now, one side is like, you know, cyclists, and you know, I'll say this as a cyclist, cyclists especially in Dublin have fucking no regard whatsoever for the rules of the road, red lights, fucking indicating, looking behind them, everything, all sorts of shit. Like, there's no training at all, and there's no sort of real rules, so they just fucking do mad shit. It's mad. I'm sitting at a red light and there's just a stream of cyclists coming past me, as I said, like, and it's just, you feel like a spare prick sitting at the lights going, oh, okay, I guess I'm the rulesy person, and I'm the exception rather than the rule to obey a red light. And where I kind of usually lose the audience is the other end, which is, I think it's Ireland specifically, because I know people from not Ireland, and I don't get this from them, but there's just this weird fucking vitriolic hate of cyclists. And I know I'm going to get, you know, comments sort of saying, yeah, fuck them, you know, and of like, the minute there's a bit of rule breaking, or the minute there's a bit of anything, you know, motorists are like, oh, fuck them, stay off the road, fucking all this sort of shit. Like, and I've seen motorists do fucking mad shit to cyclists, just fucking real sociopathic shit, where they don't realise, like, if you tip off that cyclist, you fucking kill them. Like, they're fucking dead, and that's a person. It's fucking weird. Like I saw a taxi driver hit a cyclist there a couple of years ago, and he actually got the cyclist's bike wedged underneath the front of the car, and like pulled back a bit, and the cyclist is like, "You're on the fucking bike, pull back," and he gets out. He pulls the fucking bike from underneath the front of the taxi, and he just fucks the bike on the pavement and gets back into the taxi and keeps driving. And just says, "Fuck you, I don't care, you know, you shouldn't be here." And the same goes for there's a Lycra person, but same goes for people who are like, what are they doing taking the lane? And if you're a cyclist, like, you'll understand that sometimes it's safest to take the lane, to sort of, if you've got two abreast, go out into the lane and make people overtake you properly. Because if you're a chap like that, cyclist, you know, if you stick right into the side of the road, people are going to give you no space. They're going to fucking try and overtake you without leaving this lane. Like, this is a continuous white line. I'm not supposed to go outside this white line if I'm in a car. So if there's a cyclist, I'm going to try and pass him without going outside this line here. And that's not enough fucking space. It's just like you're passing them at a ridiculously close fucking thing. So what cyclists will do is they'll take the lane. They'll say, "Do you know what? You know, we're an obstacle, so you can go around us on a continuous if we're an obstacle." Or, like, the way I always think about it is, you get tractors on country roads, and tractors can only go 50 kph, which is only a little bit faster than a group of cyclists, especially some of the Lycra lads are doing 35 and 40 kph. Just fucking overtake them. Just pretend it's a vehicle, you know, a slow moving vehicle, but you'll have those, except it's an extra good slow moving vehicle because you can fucking see through it, and just fucking go around them. I've some sympathy for if they're three abreast, which they shouldn't be, or if there's a big huge fucking group of them, like if there's about 50 of them, that's a pain in the bollocks, you know. But you deal with pains in the bollocks, like, you know, they're entitled to use the road, and if they're being obnoxious about it, then yeah, be annoyed and pissed off at them. But most of the motorists I talk to are like, you know, fuck these guys, you know, trying to use the road. And one of the big fucking cop-outs I hear, and I think it's a funny one, especially given the last couple of years in Ireland and all the protests that have been happening, is people say, "Well, I pay me road tax," and there's no such thing as road tax. It's motor tax. You pay tax on the emissions from your engine, and it doesn't go to the roads. As if you ask any taxi driver or random person on Facebook the last couple of years, they'll say, "Well, it goes to pay for water infrastructure, doesn't it?" So it's a weird kind of a thing where, like, I pay a particular tax, therefore I'm entitled to use the road and you're not. I don't fucking get it at all. It's just a complete cop-out. It makes it look stupid to be fucking saying it. So that's not to say that I'm completely in defence of cyclists. I've seen some fucking mad shit out of cyclists, but again, a little bit of fucking assuming the best intentions on both sides, and people will be a lot less stressed and aggro. I've been with lads driving a car where they're behind a cyclist and they're going, they're getting real fucking aggravated over it, and it's like, it's alright, just go fucking around them. Try not to get too wound up over it. And then of course they respond well to being told not to get wound up, because that really works. Don't get wound up over things you get wound up over. So even in a couple of weeks I've been cycling maybe once or twice a week, because I'm still a big fat fucker and I can't really do it every day just yet without my fucking knees falling off. But I'll get it. And even then there's just fucking cars giving you no fucking room, all that sort of stuff. And it was funny, I looked for some examples in the video I took the other day. I have a little handlebar mounted thing, and the two worst examples of not giving space or cutting you off or turning in front of you were two fire service vans and a fucking Dublin Corporation van. You know, two fire service vans that passed within fucking inches of me, and a Corpo van that, like, the driver looked at me and then fucking went out and turned in front of me. Now, he was in no danger of hitting me, but just the sheer fucking ignorance. Like, there's plenty of reasons why things are made difficult for cyclists. Like, there's There's bike lanes that are just fucking car parks. There's bike lanes where there's no separate lights for cyclists, and you end up with a junction where cars can just fucking, the bike lane goes straight and the car lane turns, and it's just like, yep, watch out for cars, they might run you over, fuck you. That's me for today. I didn't have all that much time, and I do now go and look at kitchens. Doesn't that sound like a fucking treat? Get out and enjoy this weather, folks, if you're in the area. It's to be grand for this week, hopefully, according to the internet. So have a good one, and I will see you soon.